Hello and welcome to P&B's Wide World of Ports. This is our tour of the Maritime Museum of San Diego. We're going to start the tour off with the HMS Surprise, which was built in 1970 as a replica of an 18th century Royal Navy frigate. Many of the scenes in the 2003 movie Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, starring Russell Crowe, were filmed aboard this ship. Then in 2004, after the filming of that movie, the HMS Surprise became a part of the Maritime Museum of San Diego. Now moving down to the deck below, we get an idea of what life was like aboard an 18th century warship. Each of these smooth-bore, muzzle-loaded cannons fired solid shot and required a crew of 6 men to operate them. Our next stop is the massive steam ferry Berkeley, which was built in 1898. She operated in San Francisco Bay for 60 years and arrived in San Diego in 1973, and has hosted thousands of corporate events and weddings. The Berkeley now houses museum offices, a major maritime research library, a workshop, a model shop, and a museum store. There are so many ship models on display in the Berkeley that an entire video could probably be dedicated to just those alone. The steam ferry also has a fully restored triple expansion steam engine, but unfortunately it was closed while we were there. Here's one of the friendly shipbuilders in action. Moving up to the top deck and the special events venue, which in total can hold 800 guests. Another interesting part of the Berkeley's history is its appearance in the 1957 film Pal Joey, starring none other than Frank Sinatra. The Berkeley is 279 feet long and weighs 1,883 tons. And she was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1990. It was nice to be docked so close to this museum, as it gave us extra time to explore. Our final stop on the Berkeley is at the very top in the wheelhouse. On the other side of the Berkeley is the USS Dolphin, which is the deepest diving submarine in the world. The Dolphin was launched in 1968, and that same year it reached a tested depth of 3,000 feet, which set a record for operating submarines that has still not been broken to this day. The submarine is so jam-packed with gadgets and instruments that it leaves very little space for living quarters or even just room to move about the vessel. The USS Dolphin was used by both civilian and Navy researchers until it was decommissioned in 2007, and then later in 2008 became a part of the San Diego Maritime Museum. The purpose of this space was fourfold, if that is an actual term, as it served as kitchen, dining hall, workstation, and recreation area. Our next stop is the Medea, which is a steam yacht that was built in 1904 for William McAllister Hall, a British officer and wealthy landowner. Hall used the Medea for hunting trips around western Scotland and for social occasions. The yacht is constructed of oak, imported teak wood, and steel. During World War I, the French Navy purchased the Medea and converted it to a gunboat, and she served as a convoy for French sailing ships. And at the beginning of World War II, she served as a barrage balloon vessel for the Royal Navy. Here's a glimpse of the dining area and the galley. The photo on the left is William McAllister Hall, the ship's original owner. After World War II, the Medea returned to British civilian service. Then in 1971, she underwent a restoration and was donated to the Maritime Museum of San Diego. The ship still cruises from time to time for invited guests. Here we are approaching the San Salvador, which is a replica of a ship that arrived at the port of San Diego in 1542, owned by Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo. The San Salvador takes guests on 4-hour sailing adventures, and prices range from $69 to $119. Our final stop on this tour is the Star of India, which is a full-rigged iron-hulled sailing ship built in 1863. She began her career sailing from Great Britain to India and New Zealand, and later sailed from Alaska to California hauling salmon. The Star of India was retired in 1926 and was restored from 1962 to 1963 as a seaworthy museum ship, with the home port being San Diego at the Maritime Museum. The Star of India is the oldest iron-hulled merchant ship that is still afloat, and she still sails regularly. The ship became a registered National Historic Landmark in 1966.